Welcome to the Queer Confidence Podcast, the podcast to help you become your most confident queer self. I'm your host, he, she, they, Coach Alex Ray, and I haven't always been this confident. In fact, I used to be super insecure. And through this show, I want to share with you what's worked for me, my clients, and my guests so that you can become more confident. Hello, my loves. How are you? My unicorns, what's up? Oh, today's a special day. One, we're going to talk about judgmental parents. I don't know if any of y'all can relate to that. But also, this is the last podcast that I'm recording in Maryland. This is so wild. And it's funny that it's episode 66. Wouldn't that be fun if I was also taking Route 66 out to California in a couple days? That would be so fun. That would be so, meta. But I'm not, so whatever. Anyway, episode 66, how to deal with your judgmental parents. Now, I want to caveat this episode with, I in no way mean to make a dig at my parents or anything. Can they be judgmental? Sure. But this episode is actually born out of some coaching that I was giving one of my clients the other day. And we were talking about judgment and how our parents can be judgmental and how we then become judgmental of ourselves just like them. So there you go. That's just the little the little caveat there. My parents are wonderful and also annoy the shit out of me sometimes. I think that's what parents are supposed to do. I love them, and I'm excited that they are driving out with me. 4 days in the car, though, together, I think could drive anyone nuts with any other human, so we're going to see how it goes. It's going to be an adventure. Anyway, let's dive in. Unicorn, and talk about judgmental parents. So, again, this came up because I was working with one of my clients on realizing how he holds himself back within his business because he fears judgment of family and particularly his parents. And this is not something that's unique to entrepreneurs, right? I coach plenty of people who are not entrepreneurs, and they go through the same things. You know what I'm talking about the times that you avoid being more of yourself. You avoid taking risks. You avoid doing things that you'll enjoy in your life because you are afraid of what are people going to think about you, particularly your parents. And I am not going to give a speech about letting your parents off the hook. That is not, that's not useful, really. Your parents are fucking jerks sometimes. But also, I do, for my parents, have a lot of grace. And I tell you what, I would not be at the place I am today with them without the grace that I extend to them. And I wouldn't be able to have that if I didn't first do exactly what I'm going to tell you all about today. So oftentimes we think okay, the problem is, well, dad's going to come and criticize me if I don't succeed in this business, right? And that's really scary. Or mom's going to come and tell me all the ways in which I should have done things differently if this relationship doesn't work out. Or my parents will just come and tell me all the things I've fucked up in my life and why I am where I am, and they will just guilt trip me, etc., etc. And I'm speaking as you, right? These are the kinds of thoughts that come up in your head when you go to do new things, when you go to step out of wherever you are currently, whenever you go to be more of yourself. I also was having dinner with some friends the other night. And one of them, her mom was there, and it was just interesting to me to watch that dynamic and how she talked about how her mom was very judgmental towards her, and how her mom like wanted to defend, like, oh no, I'm not judgmental towards you now. And I think that's probably a common experience for a lot of us, that the way our parents maybe treated us when we were younger is different than they treat us now. Or also the way that they treat us when other people are around are different than they treat us, um, or have treated us in private. The most important thing here to note, though, is that now that you are an adult, not a kid, right? This is kids, like you are under your parents' roof and their supervision and their instruction. But now that you're an adult, you don't need to do shit that they tell you to do, obviously. But also realize how, even though you may not be physically with them, you carry their voice around in your head everywhere you go. And not only that, but when you are also with them in person, you will take the judgmental ways that they've spoken to you in the past and expect that of them. Now, sometimes you're correct, but other times you're not. Other times they don't actually have any judgment for you, and you've just been assuming that they have judgment for you because that's what they've proved to you through the past over and over and over and over and over again. So it's not unreasonable. You're not crazy. I experienced this the other day when I was riding with my dad. His grandfather passed away in World War II on a submarine, and wow, this is really hitting me emotionally. So I'm just going to feel it. I'm going to feel it here. So when I was out in Arizona sometime last summer, my grandmother, it was her father, and she showed me some of his things. And when I was going through them, his spirit came to me, and I had visual flashes, almost like I was remembering something or seeing, like remembering a movie I saw is kind of what it felt like. And I saw how the sub went down and the panic on the sub and his reaction, and how much he was just thinking of my grandmother in that moment. And it was really heavy. Channeling for spirits is exhausting, and also it's intimidating and scary. But I also love it, and I love being able to serve them in this way. And I told my grandmother about it. And when we were in the car the other day, my dad and I, we were headed to a memorial in Baltimore to go be on a sub that served in World War II and was kind of similar to the one that my great-grandfather passed away on. And as we're headed there, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was sort of a little intimidated that I might be getting some I almost said flashbacks, but it's not really a flashback of my own. Anyway, like the spirits might want to talk to me through this, and I don't know, I just was feeling like kind of heavy and intimidated and remembering everything I saw in Arizona. And so in my head, because of my dad's beliefs in Christianity and the way that he has the way that he has talked about spirituality and especially like mediumship and stuff in the past has not been with respect or love towards it. And so I felt very intimidated in my head about sharing any of that with him. But sitting there in the car, I thought, you know what? This is an opportunity. Practice what the fuck I preach, right? And, because we were already talking about my great-grandfather already while we were sitting there. And so I thought, you know what? Let's just share this with him and see what he says. So I shared that my great grandfather's spirit came to me, and I started seeing some visions of how the ship went down. And he said, "Oh, what did you see?" And it blew me away, the curiosity that he had. He was genuinely, like, he was not faking it. He was genuinely, completely curious in hearing. And I realized that that was another moment that I almost let pass by, because we can blame our parents all we want for their judgmental attitudes or the way that they don't see things the way we see them. However, the real person that's holding us back is always ourselves. I almost didn't share that with him because I assumed that he wouldn't want to hear it. And my inner critic, my inner judgmental brain, wanted to say, "Oh, no, it's actually kind of stupid. It's kind of weird. It's kind of woo-woo. It's kind of don't share it with dad because he's not going to get it. He's just going to make fun of you. He's just going to tell you it's not real. He's going to tell you you're demonic." And he didn't do any of that. Now, I want you to think of realize here that I'm not suggesting that you get down on yourself or judge yourself for the fact that you may assume that your parents are actually going to be more judgmental than they may be. However, you've got that in your head for a reason, right? Our brains come up, you've heard me say this before, like, our brains don't come up with beliefs for no reason. Like, they come from our experiences. So no judgment there. But just notice how your expectations of others, this can go beyond your parents, but especially for your parents, your expectations of them being judgmental has you already judging yourself. Thoughts in my mind were already racing towards judging myself, and that I was, crazy for seeing what I saw. It's just your brain's way of protecting you from expected judgment from others. You judge yourself to avoid judgment from others. Now, how much sense does that make? Because you're still getting judged, right? It works. It's sort of effective. You don't get judged by the other person. Yay, all the judgment's in your control. And you're the judgmental asshole. When I was coaching my client the other day, similar thing. Now, I don't know how his dad reacted. I haven't had an opportunity to hear, but there were many circumstances he could think of where he had held himself back from things out of fear of the judgment that his parents might have. And this is so normal. We've all done this. So, first thing I wanted to point out is, one, just know that your expectation of judgment from your parents creates a divide. What might happen for you if you gave them a chance? Yeah, you might be disappointed yet again that they were judgmental and assholey to you, or you might be surprised and delighted. Now, think about with judgment, the way that we judge ourselves. This is where you start. This is sort of the advanced coaching here. This is, if you really want to start working that inner judgmental parent, and I say the judgmental parent because that's where we learned how to be so judgy from. Or maybe there's another figure you can think of in your life that's extremely judgmental, and you hear their voice when you're kind of judging yourself for anything. So the advanced way to be realizing and thinking about what's going on in your head is that you have the version of you that's doing a thing, or thinking a thing, or believing a thing. You have the version of you that's doing that. And then you have like this sort of observer that's judging yourself, right? Your conscious brain is like, "Oh my God, why did I say that stupid moronic thing? I'm such an idiot. Why did I start this business? I'm such an idiot," right? Actually, Okay, another fun little side story. I got to speak at Annapolis High School today. And in their like entrepreneur class, and so a bunch of high schoolers got to ask their questions and got to answer them, and one of them asked like about, when do you kind of get over that hump of self-doubt? I was like, never. You never do. If you're an entrepreneur, you are always going to have some self-doubt for sure. And there will always be days where you're like, oh my gosh, why the hell did I sign up for this? This is like the roller coaster of business. I could have, like the roller coaster way to make money. I could have just been an employee. What the hell was I thinking, right? No, we love it. We're little pain sluts. We're little thrill seekers. I love a roller coaster, and apparently I love it in business too. I love to make money on a roller coaster. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. So, I don't even know where the hell was I going with this? Basically just that, we have self-doubt all the time. I know, I'm going, returning to what we were talking about, I remember now, it was just that, if you're an entrepreneur, there's self-doubt. You start judging yourself for like decisions that you've made within your business and start getting annoyed with yourself for them. You may judge yourself for how you showed up in a friendship. That's also relevant to me as well. The other night I was thinking about a friendship that I let go and kind of judging myself a little bit for it. Now, there's a third person. Ooh, did not mean to smack the mic there. Sorry about your ear holes. There is a third person also in the room. So there's like you doing the thing. There's you judging it. The judgmental parent, we'll call that character. And then we have a third. And the third is like the observer of all of it. As soon as you realize that you're judging yourself, you have two options. One, to start judging yourself for judging yourself, to be beating yourself up. I shouldn't be doing this. I've been working on all this mindset work. How am I still doing this? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm judging myself for what I just did. Why am I still thinking about that moronic thing that I said yesterday to my friend? And like, what does she think about it? I can't even believe I'm thinking about this thing. I'm such a fucking idiot. I need to get over this. I've been doing so much mindset work. I should be done with this by now. How well does that work? Not well at all. And that's my problem with a lot of coaching. There is a thing within the self-development space, we'll call it, where you are encouraged to observe yourself, observe your thoughts, and then fix them. And I put fix in quotes. You want to fix them. Well, in order to fix something, there has to be a problem. And so you already have to be looking at your current mindset as if it's problematic or stupid or wrong and needs to be fixed because you're fucking busted. And that, my friend, is a terrible, terrible, terrible way to be addressing your negative thoughts. With more negativity, no, it doesn't work like that. That is not helpful. Now you've just got a whole pile of judgment and shame that you're sitting in. Guilt, self-hatred. Doesn't work. Instead, don't worry about a positive affirmation or fixing it so you can love yourself, or fixing your negative judgmental self and making it a nice, kind parent that's just encouraging all the time. No, my friend. Just stay with observing with love. So that third person in the room that I talked about, let them just be a loving observer. And this is one of the most magical things about working with a coach, because we're here to not judge you. You get to say all the things that you've even been judging yourself about. And we get to go, all right, I'm here for it. I'm here with you. Okay. No worries. No problem even. Tell me more. I'm curious. I'd love to hear. And when you have another person demonstrating that for you, demonstrating genuine curiosity with your brain, genuine love and care for your brain, where it's at, instead of trying to fix it or change it or rush to improve it, that, my friend, is what it means to actually break the cycle of judgment. That's what it actually is to be your own self-coach. That's what it actually is to build confidence, not to hurry and rush to find the things that are wrong with you and fix them, including the judgmental inner parent that you have, but rather to just notice that about yourself. Oh man, I have this tendency to judge myself. And it particularly happens when I'm around my parents. I learned some judgmental things from my parents. I started judging myself like they do. I hear their voice when I'm judging myself. Oh, and I'm not even going to judge myself and trying to get rid of that inner parent. Instead, why don't I get curious? Why don't I ask that inner parent, hey, what are you here for? Hey, what are you trying to warn me of? Hey, I know you care about me. Tell me a little bit about what's going on here. I know you're here to help me. Every thought that you have, every way that your brain is functioning is like looking out for you. Even the parts that seem really judgy and I don't know if you've heard that, the inner saboteur, even that part of your brain is trying to do the best for you. So notice that. Appreciate it. Appreciate yourself for being judgmental over yourself. Because judging yourself for judging yourself certainly won't work. See how it's true that part of you was being ugly and judgmental towards your negative thoughts. It's just, trying to look out for you and trying to do the best for you and trying to give you the life that you want. And the negative thoughts, same thing. They were trying to look out for you and trying to give you the life that you want. They were trying to keep you safe somehow. They were trying to protect you. They were trying to make life okay and explain it. And what you will find, my friend, is that as you practice this for yourself, you're going to notice a capacity that you have never had before, but a new capacity that you now have to also react the same way to judgmental parents. To your judgmental parents that are rude as fuck to you about whatever you're doing with your life. You're going to realize that you have the capacity to be curious with them. Like, I actually know that what's true is you're looking for safety. And it might be, Dad, you might be looking for safety for me. So that might be why you're acting judgmental, because you don't want me to go down the wrong path and get hurt. Or maybe you're being judgmental because you're projecting into me. You're thinking like, you're living through me in a way, and then afraid of what will happen to me and what would happen to you if you were in the same scenario. And really, this isn't even about me. It's about you imagining yourself in my shoes, and you're being judgmental to try to avoid imaginary pain. Is that what's going on? Oh, wow. I don't know that I even need to be mad at you anymore. Do you see how that can happen? How the relationship you have with your parents, they can keep being judgmental, and hopefully they'll change, but you know what? That's not the point. And the more you try to change them, the more they're not going to, and the more frustrated you will become. Instead, just think about how the things that they do that piss you off, the way that they're judgmental, is really actually not coming from this evil place. Your inner parent was trained by them. They're judgmental and sabotage you all the time. And that inner parent is also not coming from an actually evil place. That's what I got for you today, my friends. So keep it simple. Judging judgment, whether you're judging your inner judge or judging your judgmental parents, is not helpful. Rather, compassion and trusting that any judgment is coming out of a place of fear and a place of trying to stay safe. That's what's going to help you. So notice yourself judging yourself and just love yourself where you are. Don't worry about changing it. Don't worry about getting rid of your inner judgmental voice. Just love it for all the ways it's trying to care for you and trying to help you live your life and stay safe. All right. Have an amazing week, unicorns. I will see you on the next episode. Mwah. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend so they too can become more confident. You can also help more people find the show by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen. And if you want to become a more confident queer with support from yours truly, head to coachalexray.com or use the link down in the show notes. I'm looking forward to working with you.